Alrighty, Steel Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia, and also welcome back to the Steel Curtain Network. I do have a special guest today, and we're just this is a live recording right after the game. We're really pumped up, so welcome into Steel Curtain Network on the audio series. But I do have a special guest with me, my good mate Bubba Brewer, who is from Steelers Dynasty Podcast. Bubba, how's it going?
It's going real good, Mark. 31 points. It is Christmas in August. I'm very excited. And I liked what I saw, and God bless all your listeners all over the world.
100%. So we're doing this podcast now. I'm recording live as we speak, but in the future, the future of the past, or whatever it is, this will be on Steel Curtain Network. So I appreciate your time, Bubba, coming on the show. You have a really good podcast as well. If you go check him out on YouTube, type in Steelers Dynasty Podcast. Try and get this guy to 500 subs. He's been working very hard with his mate Shano as well, talking football. And I describe you guys as like just good bloke yinzers, just talking football, all right? How excited were you for today when kickoff happened for the Steelers game?
Well, that first offensive drive with Mason Rudolph brought the back of my hair standing up on end. It was exciting, and Mason commanded that offense like he's been in it for a long time. And all the starters were sitting in their, in their jerseys, in their workout gear, with their hats on backwards. I want to give a big shout out to Aaron Rodgers for talking to those guys, to talk to Mason and Skylar Thompson. So, I was excited for that. I'm excited for Steeler football because, as we talk on Tuesday nights on our shows together, I'm all in with this Steeler winning thing. I'm cashing all in, and I'm as crazy as it sounds, but I do believe the Steelers are going to go places this year.
100%. And one big shout out to Z on my YouTube live for the $49.99, and I thank you very much. I am going to Ireland very soon for week 4, so that will go towards a Dublin fund. That will go towards my beer fund. I really do appreciate it. After this audio podcast, I will play fireworks for Z. But I hear you, Bubba. I really do hear you. This is now time where you've talked about it on shows we do together, and that's why I brought you on as a special guest. You've talked about that this Steelers team is going all in, right?
Yes,
They're going all in.
With the signing of Aaron Rodgers and his expertise, as an offensive guru, as somebody who's been in the league all this time, and he knows how to run an offense, and we haven't had that for such a long time. And this is his last hurrah. He's the aging gunslinger out west, and he's got all the bullets in his gun ready to play the sheriff against all the bad guys coming in town.
Tell you the best thing what I like about this offense and how we won today, and we used the backup quarterback Mason Rudolph, and I'm glad he's back. Didn't he look like a true professional?
He looked great. He looked great. Yeah. The mustache. I'm telling you, he looked stylish.
But he looked awesome out there. The best part is a few years ago we had Kenny Pickett with the offense, and we're all so excited, right? Because it was a much better offense than the Matt Canada stuff. This it got better. However, it was still Kenny Pickett being QB1. This is the offense with QB2, and we are yet to see what happens with another true professional in Aaron Rodgers. And Mason Rudolph, his hurry-up offense, and they were checking the ball down. They fired the ball to Scotty Miller. They fired the ball to Skowronek. They fired the ball to Darnell Washington.
Yes, it was like Godzilla in motion. When you're that big and you can catch a ball 19 yards away and on stride. I didn't see Washington making these touchdown catches. I made him getting maybe some yardage and blocking. That's what I saw in him. But this tight end department is so exciting that I've never ever seen before in all of Steeler history. And I've been a Steeler fan a long time.
One of the best parts too of the first drive, and that's like I think a lot of Steeler fans will talk about the first drive, right, with Mason Rudolph, is the fact that he went 7 for 7 and got the TD right near the end. It was fantastic, 19-yard pass, 20-yard pass. He threw that football right in the air to Darnell Washington, who's he's like 6'7", right? His hands go up to about 7 feet, and he jumped. So it's like 8 foot in the air, almost 8 foot in the air. And also I believe there was a penalty, and they overcame that penalty. They overcame the penalty. They got back and they ran down the field to be 7-3. There's some promising signs too as well. Give a shout out to Roman Wilson first time we've really seen him in action, and I thought he was playing good football. And
Catches. I was happy. I was like, oh, we've seen a sighting. It's like the Loch Ness monster. So, I mean, there he is. And he caught a nice pass over the middle. So, but as we've talked about, and I've talked about numerous times, Mark, on our shows, is that receiver number 2. But the receiving by committee looks so good tonight. Like, I
mm-hmm,
can't say anything right now. And the receiving department actually stepped up tonight that
definitely.
I didn't even count on that. And I'm happy with that.
I also like the play book selection. I like the fact that they were moving these guys around. They're getting Roman
Mm-hmm.
Wilson involved. There was a check down to Ben Skronik, and that happens. That's football, right? Not everything needs to
Yeah,
be a big play.
exactly.
But things are moving around. Caleb Johnson got, I think, 2 receptions or something on the first drive, and he almost fell over, or he was running, but he was trying his best. Yeah, there's a
I'm
comment from
good.
the live. There's a comment from the live chat because we can't. I'm going live on my Steelers Nation Australia
I know,
podcast,
and
but we are. We're
yeah.
recording on, and we're so excited. We're
Well, I
recording
am so
for.
excited. I got Facebook Live trying to get people to get on and subscribe to Steelers Nation Australia to get you some coin to get. We're having a telethon,
I
during
I
this, and
appreciate
we're
it.
we're trying to get you where we need to be, and hopefully some people in America, in Western Pennsylvania, support an Australian fan who knows Steelers football, and go from there.
Yeah, 100%. So I want to go through that first drive because it was 9 plays, 65 yards, 4 minutes. Right? What better could you ask for that? Rudolph went to Roman Wilson for 19 yards. The very first play was to Roman Wilson, 19 yards, and we all thought it's going to be a run. Play action pass, Bubba. How exciting is that to see him throw to the middle of the field and use the middle of the field?
Well, that's very exciting because the Steelers in the last couple of years have not done that. So this is a whole new part of the Steelers offense. And if everybody is not excited for this, I don't know what to say because I know I'm excited. You're excited. Everybody in the community is excited. They just look so crisp, and
Look better.
the offensive line had the pass protection for Mason Rudolph to get those passes out today, which
Mm-hmm.
was great. So Broderick Jones
I,
looked great. I mean,
I
the
tell
2
you what,
tackles look good. So
I want to give a big shout out to some of the coaching staff too, to Mike Tomlin and I think Arthur Smith, because it just seemed like it was very flawless and seamless. That like they just everything was moving once Rudolph went in there, and they've been training really hard in training camp in Latrobe. It just shows you how the hard work pays off, and things look like a professional team, right? I know we're versing defense, and there were some starters on Jags and stuff like that, but switching for a tiny second, we go to defense. Our defense hurled, our Steelers defense hurled the Jaguars' number 1 offense to 3 points. Baba, what are your thoughts on that?
and that was with most of the second team. Harmon looked very
And
good.
third team,
Yes,
the outside linebacker was Jack Sawyer. He's a 4th guy on the rotation.
Sawyer. At the end of the game, they brought him back in and to get some pressure on the quarterback. I think Sawyer, being a Steeler, was all over the field tonight, and good shout out to Holcomb from coming back from that injury and playing some good football today. Now there's a little bit of some. I'm not going to total praise because there's some players on the defense that wasn't wrapping up, and number 37 was my faulty on defense in the halfway to the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, he missed 2 tackles. He almost had an interception, which maybe would have gave him out of my doghouse, but it didn't work. But the defensive line was just. There was maybe one big play ran on him, but nothing super major throughout the game.
So for the first drive, right, the first team offense for the Jaguars, led by Trevor Lawrence, led by the running back, is it Etienne or whoever the bloke is?
Yeah,
So
I
those
think that's
guys
what it
there,
was.
first team, it was 12 plays, 44 yards, 7 minutes, and they only got 3 points. In a real game, that means we come out, we get 7, then we've got Aaron Rodgers to get 14. Like that, you just can't. They should have scored. They should have scored a TD against us, against our third stringers and fourth, where there was no TJ Watt, there was no
Right,
Highsmith, there was no
right,
Cameron Hayward, there was no
right.
no safeties. Like we didn't have. Or Juan Thornhill almost took a bloke's head off though.
Well, Thornhill actually played very good and almost took. You're
Hmm.
right. He almost took the guy's head off on that one play. So, I mean, if we can't be excited for this, I mean, I never thought in my wildest dreams 31. And some of the Jacksonville scores were. I mean, they were getting field goals and then it was like the third and third and fourth stringers. I mean, there were some Steeler running backs that aren't going to make the team, but number 35, that Nichols, I liked his runs.
He did well. Did very well.
Yeah, so there's going to be Trey Sermon got that touchdown, so there's going to be some competition, I believe, with the third and fourth and fifth, the fourth and fifth guy to make that team. So I mean, there's everything tonight is all on the up and up, and I believe
That's why I like this team too, because there does seem to be a lot of depth, and I think there's like actual competitive play out there. The fact that Holcomb came back at 55 from his injury and he played solid football. Big shout out to, I know we're all over the place, but we're so excited. Big shout out to Carson Bruner, number 44, who made plays on teams, right?
Special teams play, and that's how he's probably going to make the team, probably.
Yeah, but there are guys like this on depth, and I think that's why the team, it doesn't feel like we're glossing over them too much. Is actually they're all making pretty good football plays in terms of getting open from Roman Wilson or players like that, or Mason Rudolph putting on an absolute clinic. But let's go back. Let's go back to the offense. We went to the defense, then back to the offense. Because I do want to give a shout out to the QBs, and we talked about Rudolph. Got to give a shout out to Skylar Thompson. You have to. He
played great.
Three TDs.
Where do you get a third string quarterback lighting them up?
Yeah, not like that. Because he used to be a Miami Dolphin, right? He was a Miami Dolphin it was drafted in second round or something like that. I can't remember.
I know he got playoff experience with Miami. He was in that playoff game that he lost. He was the quarterback, but other than that, I really don't know too much about him. Because everybody in Pittsburgh Nation and Steeler Nation wanted to see Will Howard tonight.
Correct.
I mean, that was the only disappointment of most of, okay, so we didn't get a sack tonight. We didn't get a big turnover, but you know what? It is what it is. We were very close to the quarterback. They were holding a lot too. They hold Jack Sawyer a few times. I saw.
That last drive, I was like, are these refs trying to make him win? He got held twice. He got held twice in the last drive, and I was yelling at the TV like I was playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Held twice on the last drive. No, Skylar Thompson had a great game. For the stats here on ESPN, he had 20 for 28, 233 yards, 8.3 average, 3 TDs, 1 sack, and a rating of 132. And like you said, what better way for a QB3 on this roster? Because Aaron Rodgers won't be playing, and Will Howard, he was QB4, right? Will Howard was meant to play.
Right.
And what better way to make his name for the team? I don't think that if Will Howard comes back, I don't believe they're going to bench him. I think Skylar Thompson will be always pushed down to the practice squad, and it was a great showing.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that, because they have speculated that Howard can make the last game. Now, if we had a fourth exhibition like we used to back in the day, Howard probably would get to play more in the fourth game. They did play that Woodside kid tonight in that last series.
Yeah,
I told Shane, I mean, it was table scraps, but also too, he also knows the Arthur Smith offense from being with them in Tennessee and Atlanta. But I don't see him making the team because Will Howard comes back. I don't know how bad the finger is if they tape it up or glue it. I have no idea. I'm not a doctor. I played on TV, but I have no idea. But it's just.
But he ran that Logan Woodside ran that like option route, and if that was Skylar Thompson, it can't be Aaron Rodgers. But that was Skylar Thompson. You're going to run away. No, a big shout out to Skylar Thompson. Bubba, what we're going to do is here on the Steel Curtain Network, right, and also on Steel Nation Australia. We're going to go for a quick break for a little second, and we're going to come back and hopefully talk more Steelers football. But I do want to talk about the QBs and some receivers, and then work our way to the defense, because there are some big shout-outs we need to do in receiver-wise, like to some of these players, and a big shout-out to some of the offense for playing such good football. Like you said, 31 points. So Steel Nation, hang around a little bit for on the audio side on Steel Curtain Network. And we're back, Steel Nation. How easy is that, Bubba? Welcome back, mate.
Hey, I'm back. I never left, but I'm here.
Hey, love it. Gotta love it. We were just talking about then in the first half. It was near the end of the conversation, was talking about QBs. They look pretty good, right? Rudolph, Thompson, Arthur Smith offense, getting the ball quick and fast over the middle. What receivers stood out to you, though, Bubba, in this game?
Well, I I did like Roman in the first couple series, with those 3 catches. I mean, the first series with Mason, and they scored with Darnell Washington a big touchdown, 19 yards. But also too, the second and third possessions that they had, it wasn't flowing, which I understand. It's going to be a very, very vanilla, bland Steelers offense in this preseason. I understand that. You're just going to line up and you're going to get what you get and give what you can give. I understand that. There's not going to be too much crazy plays. I did like in the second half, I was looking for the Rock Taylor. I found him. He had a couple nice catches. That Williams, I need an itinerary because
Yeah,
the
me
guy who
too.
caught the second touchdown, it was his name
Her,
Holloman or something.
Hurlman, but I call him
Yeah,
Hurley Man.
yeah, he did a backflip. I thought he was a
Yeah,
gymnast.
man.
Like a lot of players I don't know because and it's bad. But ladies and gentlemen, when I used to go to Latrobe training camp, because I live in Western Pennsylvania, Indiana, Pennsylvania, 45 minutes an hour north of Latrobe, they used to give you the sheets, the depth sheets, and whatever, and they used to give you numbers so you know who was who. And it's very, very hard. So I was
Well, it's
trying
hard
to
as well
decide.
because it goes so fast, and also
Mm-hmm.
every film, every every football not movie game you see, they don't show the field long enough. That's one of my
Right.
pet hates. They do not show the field long enough where it's like, okay, I've got 5 seconds, 10 seconds to figure out who's there, and also you can't see the numbers because they're facing the other
Yeah,
direction, right?
give me 3 seconds so I could see who
Give me
made a
at least
tackle.
five. I need to see
Yeah,
five, or I'm
something.
like, okay, man in motion. There's a reason why he's in motion. Nope, they kept
Right.
showing. I had the Jaguars because I'm in Australia. I had the Jaguars audio. You might have had. Did you have the Pittsburgh audio?
I had the Pittsburgh audio out of Altoona, Pennsylvania, but
There
that
you
was
go.
Bob Pompiani and
So at least
Charlie Batch.
you had Pittsburgh commentators. I had Jaguar commentators, which were Bucky Brooks and someone else, and they kept panning to the first year coach and Jaguars guy, and they were
Oh,
getting playing really well against them,
they're
and
not
and next
talking. They're not talking
they're not
Steelers
talking them.
X's and O's. They're not
No,
talking about Steelers training camp. They're not doing any of that. So
no,
that's where
it's
making me
really tough
upset.
in that situation. But they didn't show the field more. But I was really impressed with the receivers today because there were guys in the offense, and I'll just say their stats out loud. It's going to be Brennan Johnson caught 2 balls for 12 yards, got a first down, I believe, and he had 2 targets. I think he stood out as well. There was another guy, Roman Wilson. I think he stood out too in his route ability. Rock Taylor into the later go there into the fourth quarter. Thought Scotty Miller was quite impressive too.
That's your
Four
boy. That's
receptions.
your boy, Scotty Miller.
He did okay. I've been reading
Yeah,
about him,
I
listening
can't
to him.
complain.
He did okay. And also, but I want to give one massive shout out because Scotty Miller had 4 for 4, Taylor, those guys. Of course, Darnell. But there was one guy who was trying to fight for the team to get that 6th round. It's not 6th round. Sorry, it's been. Sorry. By the way, Steel Nation, if you're out there
You've
listening,
been going on all day long.
Still Kurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this guy from Australia has been on live for almost 8 hours, watch parties, and I got 3.5 in the United States, and I'm jumping on with him right now, and I'm doing other stuff as I'm going Facebook Live to the left of me, and they're like probably thinking, what is going on? We're talking Steelers football. We are trying to get Mark to where he needs to be because he's going to Ireland. He's going to be
I'll
taking
be
his
there.
terrible towel, and he's going to be, twirling it for a Steelers victory against the Minnesota Vikings.
100%. So I've been streaming on this live podcast for 8 hours now. And I thought, you know what, we can sneak in a podcast with Steel Kurt Network. But I was very impressed. I was very impressed with this one bloke, right? Because these guys are trying to make the team. Kishore Williams had a great return,
Mm-hmm.
or two for 31 and one for 32. One each. And also he had a TD and had 55 yards, 2 targets. These guys like Rock Taylor, Williams, and Johnson. Are they fighting? And Scotty Miller, are they fighting for the 6th spot, Bubba?
I believe they
Or the
are.
5th spot?
I believe they are, and next week will show more. And if they can produce some more after what they've shown this week, it's going to be very, very tough for that receiver department to get to the 6th spot in the receiver position. Somebody we like is going to be in the practice squad, and somebody who's going to be catching a fire like next week and maybe going into the first half of that third game is going to get an opportunity to make the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Definitely. I know this sounds cheesy but they just looked the part, right? Rock
Yeah.
Taylor looked the part. Williamson looked the part on his catches, and also the other bloke there, Johnson, he looked the part too. That's the bloke, right? I keep forgetting the names. We don't know them just yet. Brennan Johnson, number 11, and yeah, seeing number 89 out there just look like a Steelers receiver, wide open, and you're just like, okay, maybe we do have a bit of depth here at this certain position. I was really impressed with that. All right, now, Bubba, for the last 5-10 minutes, what are we on this podcast and Steelkurt Network? Let's get into some defense.
Okay.
Defense, right?
Defense.
What were your overall thoughts on Derek Harmon and Y.A. Black up front?
Very big individuals. They've got a lot of pressure, and that's what they're stuffing holes. You didn't see big runs. You've seen a couple missed tackles, but nothing super major in that first half. You saw, you've seen them maybe when Cam comes in and they have the first team line. You can see and you can feel the excitement of this defensive line because it's a revenge tour. Over 300 yards of rushing against us the last time that, they really seriously played. And these guys are, Black is so huge. Those guys are big. I saw Brendan Fiocco with his helmet off, and he got a penalty because he had his helmet off, and he was trying to get his helmet. And by the time he got back to the huddle, they got a penalty. He is a massive individual also who I've been wanting to make the team for years. This defensive line can be the heart besides the ends of this Steelers defense. Could be very, very scary.
Yeah.
Very, very scary.
I'm going to feed off that because I like the fact you bring up the D line because I'm going to feed into the secondary. I thought the secondary was fantastic. I'd almost swear on the podcast that I can't swear into shit. I'm going to wait a few minutes.
We're both doing good. We're
on
great.
Steel Curtain Network right here on the audio podcast, family friendly. I was really impressed with Brendan Eccles, and I was really impressed with Beanie Bishop. The fact those guys were holding it down.
And Thornhill. Which
Yeah, Thornhill as well too.
He was hitting people and he was making plays.
He almost took that guy's head off. He almost took his head off and took his lunch money too. But going back to the secondary, there were no key players like Slay or Ramsey. We're going to have to wait probably weeks and weeks to maybe see them. We don't need to see them. And also Joey Porter don't need to see those guys.
Well,
maybe
Peyton Wilson's calling out the defenses. Wilson looked good. Yep. I like I said, Holcomb looked good. Like those guys, Jack Sawyer, the guys who were getting a start tonight, and the guys who were playing looked very, very Steeler-fied in my opinion.
For the audio guys out there, what's this, Bubba? You can't see the visual, but I'm like, that's Jack Sawyer getting held back.
Yeah,
looked like I'm doing a T.J. Watt impression.
Game. Yeah, and then somebody else they hold all game too, and his name's T.J. Watt.
Yeah, I did like how the Steelers put him out there right near the end to finish the game, basically to rush. And as he did that, the refs were allowing them to throw and pass and do all kinds of things. One big shout out to Daredevil from the chat, and Daredevil's a massive fan as well of the Steel Curtain Network. He's always in the chats. I think Daredevil is in every single chat. He must have 5 phones on him because he must be here, there, and everywhere, and then pumping weight to the ears.
Daredevil's amazing. He's on every show, my show, your show, while he's working out, and he just loves Steeler football, and he just loves this community.
And thank you, mate, for the $25. I'll do the fireworks after for the schnitty and a sherbet. But I was really impressed, Bubba. Really impressed with the cornerbacks, and Beanie Bishop had 6-something tackles. He had a pass deflection. He almost picked it off. I think the cornerback that was Eccles made a really great play. He's a former Jet. He came back to the ball. And all these guys are only the second string quarterback or whatever, but still, it's football.
Eccles is probably going to make this team.
I think he will.
He's probably going to make this team because I believe Corey Trice is injured, and Beanie Bishop keeps playing the way he is because Beanie has to get a spot on because the secondary is now so competitive. But I'm not a James Pierre fan in the secondary. He's better to me in the special teams role.
He is. And can he hold down that spot, though, Bubba? It's a good question. James Pierre definitely got burnt today a lot in coverage. Can he hold the spot just for it? He's a great teamer. He's a great gunner. But can he hold that spot just for that?
I don't know. We shall wait and see. But, hopefully barring,
if they would have cut Eccles and bring in Pierre, I think it would be a bit of an outrage. I think.
Oh,
I think right now,
I think I think Eccles is better than Pierre. Pierre's better special teamer, but also too, if he can make the special teams, that's fine. I seen Miles Killebrew out there tonight. I seen him a little bit. He made a play, but also too, he is a special teamer.
yep,
So
100%. We'll see how it pans out, but I was really impressed with the cornerbacks because the top three weren't there, and
right,
they held Trevor Lawrence in check, and they did a really, really good job. And as you said too, Peyton Wilson was out there just leading by example, getting tackles and getting everyone moving around. I've got to go back and watch the game again because sometimes before you know it, the play's over, and I don't get a chance to watch Derek Harmon or those guys.
I got to
But
listen to it because when I did my live, I shut the sound off so I could try to be, talking to the masses, and I have to watch it again too. But also too, as I'm counting on my finger, I think it was like 7 or 8 starters from defense not playing. So you only had like 1 or 2 starters on defense, and still that first series and first and second series was actually very good from the whole defensive unit.
if you count Derek Harmon, he's one of them. Then you had Peyton Wilson two. Then you had one
Thornhill,
Thornhill
that
three,
I think that's it.
three,
Three.
three. Three out of the 11 proposed starters, and the rest of the guys were backup second
Mhm.
teamers or third. But there was some, even like Nick Herbig wasn't playing too. So there were guys out there making plays. But I go back to Brent Eccles because when he made that play, he was super psyched and super pumped up. And we've been reading about him, but he hasn't been a Steeler. He's been a Jet the last few years, right?
Right.
So this team, I think, is building from that depth perspective, and it hasn't been doing that the last few years, right? It's definitely I think for this defense that is more depth at key positions,
Mhm.
and wait until we get the guys back like Keanu or Cameron Hayward or whoever it may be. Bubba, we're almost near the end of the show. We've done a very good job, and I appreciate you coming
But
in.
before we go on the end of the show, I have a question for you
Yeah, I'm ready.
because each punter got a punt tonight, and they were both awesome.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna
That's a
happen.
hard decision that we were going to have to make.
Okay, with the punting, Cameron Johnson got two. He was 47 yards average, but Corliss Waitman hit a 57 yarder. You got to give
What
him
do
some
you
respect
do?
to Corliss Waitman.
What do you do?
But you're paying Cameron Johnston. You can't
I
carry
know.
two, can you? Can you carry two?
No, you can't.
You can't carry two. I don't know. They're both good stories. Coming back from injury,
They are.
Cameron Johnson, the Aussie, his leg bent backwards. I spoke to his dad on Facebook a couple months back. See how he's
He's a
doing.
nice guy. He comes from Australia. He's your buddy from
Yeah,
Australia, but
he's my second
Waitman's
cousin. I
kicking
know him.
57, average 57 yards.
57
And
yards is a game changing flip of the field, though, Bubba.
yeah, that's huge. But they both got an opportunity to kick tonight, which was great. So I'm happy with that. And then the kicker from Pitt, that Ben
Souls.
Sauls or whatever,
One for
he's
one,
gonna get
36.
he should get maybe some playing time somewhere else. He's not going to make anything in Pittsburgh because there's no way. The boss is the man. They're going to pay him. They need to pay him, and because I mean that kicker from Jacksonville kicked a 70.
Hey, 70. Okay, hey. That was pretty cool, I got to say. 70-yard field goal, 64 meters for me. Like, say exact same distance,
crazy.
but that's so long. Like, that's a hard task to do.
They haven't
70-yard field goal, the longest in NFL history, but Bubba, it won't count.
Wow,
It doesn't count.
That's like dating a good-looking girl and no one knows that you are.
Right? Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
like, don't tell anyone.
yeah, don't tell anybody we're dating. But still, I mean, 70 yards
70
field
yards.
goal when they had
Clean
the
as well.
Dempsey had that record for many years when I was growing up was 63 yards was the big thing, and 70 he did that 70 yards with ease too.
It actually went over the crossbar with another 2 or 3 yards to go, 3 or 4 yards to go.
But also too, there was to me that was a little bit of minuscule mess ups by the Steelers to give that option to those guys in that position. So that was on the Steelers to get them to be able to kick that field goal because if the Steelers everything was tight in the Steelers, they wouldn't have got that kick. They wouldn't have got that kick off. They would have never been able to get that kick. That was just the couple. Not everything is perfect tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we're happy, but still.
Yeah, George T from the live chat says here they should check out the ball for helium. I've never seen a 70-yarder do that before. That's that. Chris Boswell
I
has, I think, 55 or maybe something like that, 57, whatever it is. I don't know what it was. Chris Boswell's money, but 70 yards is something different. He hit it so clean, he nailed it, just like a nice drive in golf. It is fantastic. But Bubba, we will leave the podcast with that question because that is a good question to have. Who's going to be the punter for the Steelers? No one's really talking about it. It could be Waitman. Waitman's booming them 57 yards in the air, and the other blokes are professional too.
That's a good problem.
Cameron Johnson.
That's a good problem to have because some teams in the NFL, their punters getting like 38 or 41 yards average. We're getting guys that are almost kicking over 50, close to 60. We got two of them.
100%. There's definitely a booming punt. Alrighty, Bubba. Thank you so much for coming on the Still
Thank
Kurt
you
Network.
for inviting me.
No worries. And also on the show, G'day Steelers Nation. It was a really good game. I'm happy with it. Steelers win 31-25. So I know that a lot of the blokes here on the Still Kurt Network will be chatting and talking all about this. And Bubba and me, we're talking about this pretty much every single day. It is so much fun. So thank you, Bubba, for coming on G'day Steelers Nation and coming on the Steel Curtain Network. I'll see you guys later on.